G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. In this banjo lesson, we're going to take a look at a really pretty O'Carolan tune by the name of Eleanor Plunkett. We're in the key of G major and our banjo is tuned to standard open G tuning. We're in 3/4 time, and in a moment we're going to take a look at part A of the tune here in this lesson. But if you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you better get yourself a copy of the tablature we're working from. You'll also find part 2 of this lesson where we do take a look at part B of the tune and break it down into some exercises. So pickinglessons.com. Let's have a look at part A nice and slow now, and then we'll have a look at some exercises to help us learn the tune. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's part A of the tune. It is a slow air, so bear that in mind when you're learning. You don't want to be playing it too fast once you get it under your fingers. We're going to take a look at some exercises here for part A, just to help us get to know the tune a little bit and work on some of the technique. Now, firstly, when we're playing the chords, when we're playing the 2 or 3 or 4 note chords, there are a couple of ways we can go about it. Firstly, we can use our thumb to sort of drag through or strum through those notes. So for example, in the first measure, we could play our thumb on those first 3 notes. Or you can use your 3 fingers and sort of pick the notes out all together as one sound. Or the other way is again with the 3 fingers, but kind of stagger the notes. So we're kind of rolling or raking across the notes. So the 3 options, just a single thumb, the 3 fingers but picking the notes all as one sound, or playing the 3 notes and kind of staggering them slightly with the 3 fingers as well. Take your pick, it won't matter. All of them are okay. I kind of use a little bit of both through the tune. And when you're playing this one, you can start to experiment with the interpretation yourself. And sometimes you might use your thumb, sometimes you might pick them all together, or just roll those fingers slightly on the chord. So that first measure with the thumb. First measure with 3 fingers picking as one solid sound. And now 3 fingers picking the notes slightly apart. Take your pick. Now that's going to work all the way through this tune. So if we hit measure 2, we have 2 notes. So stagger the fingers or use the thumb or pick them together. Basically the melody note in the majority of the chords is on the top of the chord. So in the very first measure, it's that B note. There's a couple of chords where that changes, but that's in part B, so we'll worry about that later. Alright, so there's our chords. Now we're going to take a look at some of the ornamentation we find in the melody as well. Looking at measure 1 in beat 3, we have a hammer-on pull-off there, and it's quite quick, so those are grace notes to kick it off. So the hammer-on pull-off open string, first fret, open string. The open string is the important note on the beat. The open first string to kick it off there are the grace notes, so we don't give them much time. They come in and out quite quickly. So it's a really quick little hammer on and pull off. Flick of the string. Counting us in, we have 1, 2, 3, and. So you can hear it's quite quick, even though we're a slow tempo. Hammer on pull off there, that two grace notes lending us into the open string. We have another one in measure 3, and in measure 3 it's part of a chord where we do need to use our thumb as a brush because we have 4 notes. So we want to play that chord with a brush across the strings, and as we do that, we're going to hammer that third finger into the first string on the second fret. So we play the open string first and then hammer straight into that second fret. And there's our melody note. So measure 3. Hammering on there for that grace note. And moving on to measure 4, we have 2 16th notes played with a pull off. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and a. 1, 2, 3, and a. So this time, different to the grace note, we want to hear them separate. We want to hear that second fret, then hear the open string. They're a little quicker because they're 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, and a. So we're not playing it quick like the grace notes. So the timing there again. 1, 2, 3, and a. Into the next measure. 1, 2, 3, and a 1. 1, 2, 3, and a 1. Okay, watch your fingering as you work your way through. It's marked here in the tablature. Depending on what's happening before and after where you're playing, the fingering is really determined by that. So do keep an eye on it. And your right hand, take your pick for the brush with your thumb, or you might use the 3 fingers or slightly roll the 3 fingers at different times. Anywhere in particular where you need to use your thumb or anything, I'll mention that in part B, but in part A we're looking pretty good. You can take your pick. Just watch in measure 3 that you do brush on that big chord. The 4-note chord, you'll have to play that with your thumb because we can't do it with our 3 fingers. Okay. Now we do repeat this twice, so the second ending is slightly different because it's going to be carrying us on into part B. We'll check that out in the second video lesson. But if you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you will get yourself a copy of the tab we're working from, and you will find part B and the second part of this lesson. I'll see you there at pickinglessons.com.